Hi, Ben here. Today I'm just going to answer a whole bunch of the questions that have been piling up and I haven't got around to yet. Now this isn't something I normally do because, well, frankly, I'd rather be designing or building than typing or talking into the camera. But the questions have been piling up and I have a new advertiser that thought it'd be a fun idea to actually bring new content to you. So this advertiser is called Wealthfront. Wealthfront makes it easy for anyone to get access to world-class long-term investment management. I first heard about Wealthfront from one of my favorite podcasts, The Tim Ferriss Show, and have been interested in him quite a while. Typically, I only work with advertisers whose products I already use. Currently, I am not a Wealthfront user, as SEC regulations don't allow me to sort of endorse these kind of products and services through sort of client testimonials. But as a small business owner, this is exactly kind of the type of services that I'm really interested in using, because if you don't have this sort of big or work for a big company or have a lot of that infrastructure and support, you kind of have to patch together and figure out your own sort of healthcare, financial planning, and these types of services. So these things that bring access efficiently to small businesses are things that I'm fascinated by. So without further ado, here's my answers to some of your questions, and also feel free to send more questions along either in the comment section below or email me. What did you do before Homemade Modern? Well, a lot of things. I talk about this a little bit in my TED Talk, which you can find a link to here. But basically, after college, I started off in architecture. I co-founded the architecture firm Zero Energy Design, which is still doing really well and producing lots of great sustainable pieces of residential architecture. But I sort of moved away from architecture because I was a little bit dissatisfied with the sort of one-to-one approach. In architecture, you sort of work with one or two clients at a time, and you can go really deep on a design, but your designs don't always reach a lot of people, and your services tend to be expensive. So while I really liked the projects that we did, I wanted to have a little bit of a broader reach. Now, it was in the interest of that broader reach that led me to create a second company called freegreen.com. Now, with Free Green, we actually gave away affordable blueprints or construction drawings for energy efficient homes. And then we actually used a media and marketing business model to generate revenue. That project was a lot of fun for a few years, but we were fortunate enough to get acquired about 2 to 3 years ago. I also have a background in teaching. I taught architecture at Cornell University and Northeastern University as well. Is this your full-time job? No, it's about my 60 to 70% time job. I also have done some real estate development, which has been really exciting and a lot of fun because you impact a whole piece of the earth. I'm an investor and advisor in several tech startups. And whatever time is left over, I spend sort of consulting with different brands about how to be better at content marketing. What is your ethnicity? Well, it's a lot of things, but mainly Japanese, Danish, and English. Do you sell the things you make? No, I do not, because I'm not that good of a woodworker or concrete maker. There are a ton of people that are better at making finished products than me. Plus, I'm not really that intrigued by the one-to-one business model for small-scale projects. I like the idea of making one thing that can then reach lots of people, which is why I'm interested in the media side of what I do more than the product side of what I do. Now, that being said, one of the things that I am working on is actually developing more products. But in that case, I'll be partnering with brands that handle the manufacturing and distribution. I see that you often have headphones in while you work. What type of music do you listen to? Now, I don't actually listen to music that often while I'm making stuff. I'm a big fan of podcasts and audiobooks. So my current favorite podcasts are The Tim Ferriss Show. I get great ideas from visionary people, and Tim has this amazing way sort of extracting knowledge and information from brilliant people and making it relatable and applicable. Now, in the sort of DIY and making space, my favorite podcast by far is Making It, featuring 3 awesome YouTubers that you should all check out: Jimmy DeResta, David Picciuto's for Make Something's channel, and Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff. Now, this podcast it's just so relatable for me because they talk about different challenges that they deal with as creatives and also as sort of small business owners that run these sort of independent media operations. So check that out for sure. It's fantastic. Now, the third podcast that I listen to often is called The Top with my good friend Nathan Lotka. Now, Nathan,
He's a little bit nuts, but what I really appreciate about it, he really gets down to the point and core of the sort of business principles with the people he's interviewing. So he can be a little bit hard on them, but it's short, quick doses of business information that I find incredibly useful. What is up with your concrete obsession? Yes, sometimes I get called the concrete guy, or wow, I can't believe you made something out of wood. It's so strange for you to depart from your favorite material. Now, one of the reasons why I got interested in concrete is because it's one of the cheapest and most readily available materials in the world. Now, in North America, we're used to having lumber all around us, but in other parts of the world, they don't have forests that, or if they did, maybe they were already cut down and depleted. So concrete becomes probably the most universally common material globally. And that's nice because it lets me sort of get away from my projects being so American-centric. One of the other things I really like about concrete is how cheap it is. You can get an 80-pound bag for $5. What are the first 3 tools a beginner should buy? Where the 3 first tools to buy would be a cordless drill, an orbital sander, and a circular saw. With these 3 tools, you can make about 60 to 70% of all the projects I've ever done. Why don't you provide measurements? This is something people complain about a lot. They say, oh, tell us exactly how many inches each one of the pieces are. I don't provide measurements for all the projects because I don't always design them beforehand. A lot of times, I just have a pile of materials, a few power tools, and a wide open weekend with nothing else to do, and I'll just sort of make it up as I go along. And this is what I really enjoy. I don't like following instructions. I like the creative part. I like to just figure it out. And sure, some pieces have to be the same length as each other, right? If you have 2 or 4 table legs, they all have to be the same length. But whether or not they're 29.5 inches or 30.5 inches, that's up to you. Both table heights are perfectly valid. It's just a personal preference. So I don't like dictating all these things. Figure it out. It's not that hard. Measure a current piece of furniture that you like. Or if you don't like it, make it a little bit shorter or taller so that it meets your own individual taste. Don't get stuck in this rut of always needing an exact number to copy. Understand how the piece goes together so that you know which pieces have to be similar and which ones have to be different. So that you know which pieces have to be a precise, specific numerical measurement versus which pieces can just be however long you want them to be for your own taste and style. Do you get mad when people copy and sell your projects? No, I don't. I get emails all the time with links to Etsy pages where people are making and selling the stuff that at least seems like it was derived from my designs. That's great, right? And this is because I'm invested in the media business model instead of the making and selling business model. I don't care. I'm happy to show my sponsors that not only are individual users downloading designs or watching videos, but people that actually want to do this semi-professionally are actually getting inspiration and then using this to buy materials and build stuff. So if anything, seeing someone on Etsy make and sell my stuff just shows that I'm having more of an impact on the marketplace, which is great leverage for me when I'm negotiating deals with different brands. Why does your audio suck so bad? Yeah, I think my favorite comment ever was somebody asked if I recorded the sound for my videos with a potato. My apologies. Still new to video productions, had no background in any of this stuff, just figuring it out as I go along. Recently upgraded to new audio equipment and new video cameras as well, so hopefully that'll improve the quality. And I'm starting to learn a little bit more about the production side. So again, my apologies, and hopefully we'll do a little bit better in the future. Well, thanks for watching our first ever Q&A session. If you have your own questions, you can add them in the comment section below. Now, this Q&A session was brought to you by Wealthfront, so be sure to check them out. If you click on the Wealthfront link below in the description section, you can set up your own free personalized investment portfolio. And if you sign up to invest, Wealthfront will manage your first $15,000 entirely free of charge for life. That means in addition to never paying commissions or hidden fees, you also won't pay any management fees to have that first $15K invested. So claim your offer today at Wealthfront.